Alrighty then, we are live.
Doesn't feel like it.
Doesn't feel- it's been a hot minute, hasn't it? Been busy the past several weeks. I got my little disability over here off to the side.
Oh,
In case
that's
I
going to
need
be
to
fun.
have it flare up. Uh, but yeah, this is Gaming with a Side of Salt, episode 22. We're talking about Star Wars. What else are we talking about? Disabilities, Doctor Who, something about Doctor Disrespect, among other stuff. So, yeah, no. Hopefully, Chad is over there monitoring the comments like he should be,
Kiss my ass.
because I sure as heck ain't.
Neither am I. Give me a second.
Oh, he's bad at this. He's always bad with this. Anyway,
I'm bad. Hold up now. Whose show is this again? Yeah, that's what I thought.
Yeah, that'd be me. You're bad though. You know what?
I mean, you ain't
Eventually, I will figure out how
wrong,
to point to you, to my camera. But with us tonight, we have Mediocre Gaming Girl, aka Meg.
Hello. Thanks for having me.
Well, thanks for coming on, and we are going to go and straight in and talk about stuff. But yeah. And here we go. So, Helldivers 2. Apparently, Helldivers 2 has been taking a nose plunge lately.
Yeah.
No shock there.
Which is sad. Sad
Yeah.
to see.
Did either of you guys play this game?
Yes,
we
we
played it a
absolutely
lot.
loved it.
Yeah. I loved the commercials. I mean, I'm as I may have said before, not on this stream though. Hi guys. I can't first person shoot to save my life, which is why I often die. And
In that game, we all die.
Yeah. and
We
yeah, and I was like, and I was
repeatedly.
watching people and they were like, man, you blew up. I was like, but you're good. Oh, this won't be good for me. This will be so sad. I would just be so sad. But yeah, from what I understand though, it's not even in the game itself, it's in the community. Literally. The content moderators on the community side, right?
It's actually their producers that caused the issue, Sony.
Okay, well, first it started off with Sony, right?
Yeah.
So they have been maintaining somewhat of a strong number in the 30,000 here, which is a far cry from what they were when they were still at the 70,000. But about that time is when Sony was like, oh, guys, we need you to link a PSN network in order to continue playing. And then it nosedived after that.
Which, by the way, I looked... Oh, sorry, go ahead.
I was gonna say, didn't they reneged on that, and then some people came back.
Some people came back, but now there's issues with their community managers.
Yes,
especially in their Discord. They have
that's
decided to play their hand as the woke lunatics that they are, and apparently, just went on a complete rampage on their Discord.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't know about this.
Yeah, this happened a few weeks ago, June 12th.
Yeah, Grumps has been on a bit of a tear.
Because we're about 30, I'm sorry, yeah, I guess about 4 weeks ago.
Grumps has been on a bit of a tear about these community managers for quite a while. But specifically in Helldivers.
They ruined the community. Really.
Yeah, they've been attacking the community on Twitter and everywhere else. They've, of course, been implementing stricter and stricter rules in the Discord. And, if you question them or anything that they said, it's a complete ban immediately. But Helldivers 2 moderators banned multiple users for reacting to an LGBTQ plus furry art with a vomit reaction. And then they had the emote removed. So not only did they ban people for saying ew furry art, then they removed the emote of vomit because they got so butthurt over it.
Yeah. I'm sorry. We're on the internet and we're supposed to be adults. At some point, we have to allow people to have opinions that you don't like. And just say, yeah, that's cool. You can have that opinion. You're also wrong, but you can have that opinion, I have those conversations constantly. I don't understand why this needs to be sanitized so much that they're like, well, this might, and the thing is that often people like this will say, well, I'm trying to protect those other people, this very savior virtuous route here. And it's and the thing is that most people who just log in, like me, I never go on a game's Discord server. I don't care. I just want to play the game. And
yeah, I rarely go to one. And hello, Daramuth. I'm sorry, Daramuth.
Daramuth.
Hey, Dara.
Dara.
Doing the
Hello,
pip.
boys and lady.
Pip.
Oh, that's right. It's Friday. It's the Pip stream.
Yep.
Yeah,
hope you're having a good one.
I get to harass Dara tomorrow.
That's right.
Yeah, I know.
They were hanging strong too at like about, what was it, about 170,000 ish to 2,000 to 130,000 for the longest time. Player numbers. Then you had hey, Flip City, how's it going? And then Sony did their thing, and then it plummeted to about 70,000 for a while, and was bounced between 80,000 to 5,000. And then the moderators started doing shit, and now they're down to a nice, cool number of 33,000, I guess.
You should look at the chat.
Oh, look at the chat. Well. I see it's going well. Who's the whore now, Chad?
Well, I don't know. I did a little bit of a art project this morning.
A few art projects. He turned me into a mosaic. Anyway, and a Smurf. But yeah, Helldivers 2 has been suffering from their moderators for the most part at this point, and the main company, what was his name, the CEO or whatnot, who swapped places. He's been kind of like,
yeah.
I haven't heard anything from him in quite some time since then, and I haven't heard anything from the new guy either. So
I think the old CEO's looking for an out.
Maybe.
That's just me conjecturing, but also let's be real. A lot of reason people they're tanking, not just because of the Discord BS. They never reinstated those countries that they banned.
Oh
no.
So of course it's going to go down. You got people who are in it going, you know what? That's dirty. I'm out. You got people in those countries that go, I'm not going to VPN just to play your shitty game.
Yeah.
And by the way, I do mean that when I say shitty. It was good until they balanced it to death. And I am 100% with Grums on this. Do not let balancing get in the way of fun. If it's fun but unbalanced, keep it. That's how they do.
I really hated when they nerfed my breaker.
Yeah, that's how Grums did.
I mean, the laser rifle was cool,
and World of Warcraft.
The laser machine gun was cool, but I really still miss my breaker. When they nerfed that into the ground, it sucked.
I mean, one thing, I understand why they do it. I don't like it, but I understand why they do it. And if they're so hell-bent on doing it, I think that a good way to do it would be to kind of have like seasonal buffs, and it'd be explained by some kind of BS mechanic, these guns go on these kind of crystals, and these crystals, the cycle of the suns, plural, or the bugs, or whatever seasonal thing can happen, based on the week or something like that. Oh man, what? No, Rumble Studios Zero Gaming? I can't believe it. Lol.
No, Rumble Studios doesn't do what I wanted to do just yet.
Zio's being a drama queen. It's like,
it's getting there. Listen, it's getting there. It's getting there. And I don't have it set up properly.
Oh, see, that's what it is. It doesn't do what he wants it to do, but that's because he hasn't set it up. There we go.
It does. He just doesn't know it.
Yeah, well, this is
I
much
can't talk.
easier
I
for
only
me to
use
do
LBS.
because what were you complaining about when it came to clipping the other day? I don't have that problem on Streamlabs.
Actually, I don't have that problem on there. I just was stupid.
Oh, well, never mind then. I take it back.
When you're clipping, you got the clip bar, right? Mm-hmm. So you can slide it and whatever. And I thought I had to keep sliding that through a 3-hour, 5-hour, 8-hour stream to get to where I was. What I didn't realize was there's a preview of what I'm clipping. And if I just move the time bar on that preview, guess what happens to the bar below it? It
Oh.
moves. I'm an idiot.
That sounds about right. What is it? You're old and grumpy or something like that.
I'm full of piss and vinegar, and I'm old.
Oh.
Honestly, I think that it's probably the nerfing for the average player that probably pissed off most people, rather than like this kind of stuff, this kind of behind the scenes screwing up the Discord sort of thing probably put a bad taste in certain people's mouths. But I mean, I wouldn't know about it as a normal gamer who would not ever go on the Discord server to talk to people about the game. I would never know about this unless, except on Twix, where, we have some people who are complaining about it, rightly so, but it's kind of a niche problem. But for a person who's actually just playing the game, if they're nerfing your good guns and you have no hope or knowledge as to when it's going to get good again, that sucks. I mean, I hated it when they did it to in Destiny, but at least you're like, well, they might make it good again in like 3 weeks, and they would, because people would complain. But
yeah, so they had some problems where some things were underpowered or not working properly, like the flame version of the breaker that Chad liked. It was a bit underpowered, and on top of that, if you weren't the one who created the game, its fire element actually didn't work for you.
Huh.
That was a bug.
Yeah.
See, that sort of thing you can fix and buff.
Yeah.
But then in order to do that, they also nerfed the regular breaker, and it's like, why?
And that's the thing I have a problem with.
That was not necessary. And they keep adding more and more stronger enemies.
See you, Dartmouth.
The fact that they keep nerfing certain things, it's like we should probably stop that.
Absolutely.
Oh, see you, Dara. Thanks for the dono. Have a good stream.
What a homie. He's good peeps.
He is.
He is. I'm going to be frank. Dara is probably the workhorse behind the growth. People like Dara too are the workhorse behind the growth of Rumble.
I think so. At least amongst us little guys.
But I think that people will see streams like ours and all the ones that. Because here's the thing: money talks. Let's be 100% real. Money talks, and when people see that people are getting donations on Rumble like this, it attracts them.
Yeah. Oh, wait. He wants you to read it. One of you crazy bearded men.
Bearded man. Okay.
Tell him
well,
to go
anyways, glad to be seeing you tomorrow with others, Chad. I'll try to send the link after the stream with a person I can't pronounce. Anyway, we'll try to get you on one-on-one next time, Meg. See you guys. There you go.
Yeah, you old boomer.
Read your Rumble. Highlight this message. Because that would be cool. I can pin it. There we go. I can pin it. There we go. It's about as good as it gets.
Someone got fancy.
Very professional here.
What is
very professional. Anyway.
Okay, I'm just going to point this out real quick. Sorry, just side note.
Listen, my disability's flaring
in that position with Meg's head blocking his back area does not look right.
All right. Let me move over.
All right.
Oh wait, am I locked? No, it's not.
No, it's fine. It's just funny because it looks like there's something wrong going on behind.
Oh, good grief!
Look at
this
the
is why we
size of
can't have nice
sack.
Don't forget, you can click someone's name and have them add it quickly to their chat bar.
Yeah, I love that. I love that new feature from Rumble, because I don't want to and then scroll. It's annoying.
Well, there ain't too many people in my chats to so don't bother me.
Well, I mean, it's more when you're having a conversation on somebody else's stream.
Whoops.
And people pop up. So if I'm in, I go to Hypnotic stream, and there aren't a lot of us over there, and on the Rumble side, there are like maybe 20 of us. But sometimes we get into this really this really philosophical conversation. And so, somebody makes a point, and then three sentences later, you finally finish what you're going to say, so you can click on their name. And then it ats them without having to hit @ and then scroll through all of the names. And it's just, it's much better than it used to be. It's very fun.
Oh yeah, that's definitely nice.
I'll be right back.
All right, so back to the topic. Helldivers. And the moderator who lists her pronouns as she, her, and they, them, because of course she's a them, they, in her bio, as well as featuring rainbows, and currently has the username A Mouse, posted June 10th. Gender identity is not political or politics, it is literally someone's identity. Here in the Helldivers 2 server, we have zero tolerance policy on any sort of bigotry and hate. The topic of gender identity, especially this month, is not one that's not allowed.
Wait, what?
What?
I think that they got
is not one that is not allowed. Kitty cat, look, I know you're my disability, but can you stop? Stop.
All right, Zio's temporarily disabled. What isn't allowed at all is all the negativity towards people trying to celebrate who they are. Well, that's kind of bigoted, my dude, because honestly, there are people who don't want to celebrate that. There are people who don't want to celebrate anything, and they're just like, I just want to shoot bugs in the face and talk about why you nerfed my gun and be mad about it. So, like, what does that have to do with who you are? I don't care.
My favorite part is this next one. If you don't have anything nice to say, don't say it at all. Then don't post it in the public forum.
Also in the same, if you are attempting to bait people by flagrantly injecting your sexuality into the convo just to start fights, that will also result in a timeout. I'm sorry, I don't understand. Can they or can they not celebrate who they are? Because that is flagrantly telling everybody who you is every 5 seconds.
What if I'm a sexist, bigoted, homophobic Nazi? Can I celebrate that?
Nope.
No.
See, then
they would be bigoted against your bigotry, which means that they actually will allow some sort of bigotry.
It's time to move the topic along, because it's very clear right now it's not one we can have civilly. Listen, you ban people for having a vomit emoji on a furry pic. For fuck's sake.
Especially when this game definitely attracts the people who are not into the furry community.
No. I mean,
they should not have had a Discord. I don't think
they didn't need one.
If it wasn't for these community managers and Sony's interference, we could all be playing this game next to our favorite furry that we don't know is a furry, slaying bugs and just wiping carpet bombs everywhere and having a good old time.
Yeah, and and the thing is that they could even tell you, you're like in the middle of a raid or something like that. Hey, man, I'm also a furry. You'd be like, that's cool. Can you shoot that bug over there? Because I don't care. Like, it doesn't matter. It's like saying I'm wearing green socks. Okay. Still, please shoot that thing over there. Like,
and let me tell you something. From somebody who's been very much in the furry community in the past, because my ex-wife was an artist that did art for them.
Don't ask questions. Just acknowledge that he said this. Anyway.
Kiss my ass. So I've been to a couple
why he has the mask.
The average furry community member, very timid, very meek, will not talk about it usually. It's the majority of them are like that. Some are loud and obnoxious, and others need to get their hard drives checked. But overall, it's like if somebody's like, "Hey, I'm a furry," or they want to celebrate it. There's Discord servers for that. This is a gaming Discord. This is a Wendy's, sir.
Yeah, exactly.
So
somebody read this next line.
But hang on, real quick. One last thing.
Okay.
Did you guys pick up what they put down further up in this article where they said that about the alphabet cult stuff?
No.
So right now, Helldivers doesn't have any sort of like gay pride flags, nothing like that, right?
It doesn't have any real world anything
yet. I think that this is a prep to try and push them to add it because there are people bitching and moaning about that when it first came out. Where is there no?
Pretty sure their community managers were bitching and moaning about it, but
Yeah, that too.
Yeah. Oh yeah, they absolutely they demand to be able to virtue signal on how special they are because they don't want to do the hard work of actually getting a
while
person.
also telling you not to do that.
Oh yeah. Well, it's so a lot of the things when you're dealing with people of this ilk, you find that they're kind of like those kids that you played with when you were little who would change the rules constantly when it turned against them, you know?
Yep.
You're like, "Let's play tag." And you're like, "Okay." And then you catch them. They go, "Well, you can't catch me. You can't tag me because I'm standing on the grass." You're like, "That wasn't a rule. It's a rule now." And then when you jump on the grass, they're like, "Well, no, I can do it because the sun is directly above my head." So that means, and they keep making up these rules as they go along to basically favor themselves and not favor you because they are inconsistent in their philosophies, and they don't care about fair play. They just want to win and
They
be.
never grew up either.
No, they didn't. These are children. These are mentally children. But to read the line, let's see. Furthermore, she added, "This is also a reminder that if you try to reply to me in here, you can't because there's no typing in here. Everyone reacting to my post with a clown emoji is also lining up for a timeout. Keep going. You're making my life easy."
Gosh, you need to be doing these voices forever now. Anyway, that's so great.
You know what's funny? When I first heard Meg, I was like, "Is she a voice actor?"
No,
It's
I
dead
am
ass.
just extra.
She's extra good on that one, but still. Oh, that was pretty
Oh,
good.
looks like I'm getting
Yeah,
replaced.
so all those 41 clown emojis when this picture was taken probably also got booted.
Is it bad that I would be like, okay, no clown emoji, put an F, wait for the A?
Wait for it. Yeah, it's. Ugh.
Oh yeah, I'm
Like,
sure they
we
took
can also
that out.
spell things out with emojis, so
We should abuse the emojis. Like sometimes I kind of want to be in the Discord just so I can abuse that. Get myself speed run getting banned. I guess. Oh,
Well, the thing is that this is a
disability doing.
this is a very feminine thing, honestly. This policing of language, this policing of feelings and everything. This is just something that women are constantly trying to do. It's what we do amongst each other and ourselves. We because we can't get into physical altercations. We're small, and if we get damaged physically, we're less appealing on the market. For guys, it's not really as much a thing. You're like, "Yeah, I got this scar, but I got it. You should see the other guy." You know, we're like, "Oh, that's kind of hot." So it's different. It's not the same. So women do this kind of stuff. And this is why a game like Helldivers, which seems particularly masculine, not saying girls can't play it, girls can play it, they can love it, whatever. But this is a pretty masculine sort of game, which is why a lot of the people in the community are not going to be down with this particular sort of thing. And why this lady is going to find herself just constantly pissed off. But I think she gets off on this power, honestly. This is middle manager kind of power. Like, you don't create anything, but you're able to contribute in this way, and you will lord it as hard as you can. In rant. Sorry.
Does 1984 mean anything? 1984.
oh
Yeah.
yeah,
Oh, yeah, it does. It's that book. I forgot about that.
1984.
Look at it. It says it, 1984. I was like, that looks familiar. What is that? Let me look it up real quick. They already beat you to it, Chad. They're abusing the and I bet she didn't even get it.
No, and the thing is that this is a dude thing to do. You tell a dude that he can't do something, and there will be a large
Dude,
amount
he
of
doesn't.
dudes who will try to break your system and break your toys. I had a brother, he would do this just to piss people off, and I was like, you gotta let it. You gotta stop saying that this stuff is bothering you and trying to head him off in some other way. You gotta let the troll have his bridge, okay? You let him have it and just move
That's
on.
why you just mute the trolls and let them yell into the void.
Yeah, or
Okay.
They're doing something and you never see it, so
or you just grow up and move on. You go, okay, well, that's you. All right, that's fine. This is your opinion. Also, you're wrong, but that's cool. You can be wrong in your little corner. That's cool. I'm not going to put you on quote unquote timeout, though. What adult
Yeah, no,
tells another
seriously.
adult they're gonna put them on timeout? You're not their mother. All these,
Okay.
these are the kind of chicks that would actually complain about being stereotyped. You're not gonna put me in the kitchen. I'm like, you're acting like a mom.
You need to be in the kitchen. But
Someone
anyway.
said, someone says they put me on a timeout. I'm like, no, you're not. But we're not talking ever again because yeah.
So
But yeah,
I
Helldivers
just
is not
joined their
going so hot.
Discord.
Oh
Huh?
gosh.
Oh no.
You did.
And not
Why would
yet,
you do
but I'm
that?
going to. I just was looking at their rules. Wow.
What are they? I'm
First
sorry. Maybe I
one,
should ask what aren't they? Because I'm pretty sure that everything is the rule.
well, a lot of it's the first couple is like standard stuff. One is just like promo, protect liberty and democracy, freedom and liberty.
Yeah, for Super Earth.
For Super Earth, basically. The second one is respect others, save the fight for the Xeno Scourge, not your fellow soldiers in arms. I kind of understand that because people can get heated. It
Yeah.
doesn't even matter the content, but
Yeah. Well,
Then
I mean,
the
that was
third-
the whole point.
then the third one. Share appropriately, posting NSFW, and now here's the in comment and little brackets. Obscene, like furry art, explicit, like most furry art, illegal, like some furry art, harmful, all furry art, etc. Content is strictly forbidden. Bullshit.
Well, the thing is that all of these things are subjective, and that's the problem. We have all of this subjective stuff, and these people are acting like it's objective, like it's an objective truth that, to not like a certain thing is some sort of bigotry. It's like, no, it's preference. There's a difference. So I don't like this. This makes me kind of gag a little bit. I find this gross. Doesn't mean I'm bigoted against that person. I find people who eat and have food on their faces kind of gross. That kind of makes me gag a little bit. I'm not going to be bigoted towards them. I might not want to eat in the same room because I just want to finish my food, but I'm not bigoted against them. There's a difference between a preference and again, this is very childlike, very simplistic, very I'm good and everything that I like is amazing and everything that someone likes that I don't. Well, that's wrong and evil and bad and they can't play anymore. So I'm going to take my ball and go home.
Which honestly is probably why they wanted to link everything to PSN too. Not only did
Yeah.
PlayStation want to bump up their numbers because they saw the amount of PC players they had, and it was right there at the end of the quarter, so why not force them all to make PSNs? But also you can ban across hardware that way.
Oh yeah, and it's very easy.
And the moderators, I'm sure, would have loved that.
Oh yeah,
Because if I remember correctly, they spurred out when Sony reversed course on that too.
well, a lot of people in the what they consider to be the upper echelon. I think the games journalists were pissed off about it too. Like, ugh, those toxic men babies
How
got what
dare
they wanted by having a tantrum. Like,
I
no,
remember the articles. Men, children tantrum over Helldivers 2. How Chad of that was that of them and bullshit like that. There's just like, really, guys?
And that's the thing. I'm like, can people not just express that they don't like a thing? Is that not okay anymore? You have to tell me what the rules are now. They said, we don't like this. We won't play your game anymore because we don't like this. And that's considered to be childish. It's considered to be man baby stuff. I'm like, I don't understand what your rules are, sir.
Well, here's
what their recourse is. Just bend over and take everything, even if they don't like it. I think there's a word for that, and I think we call it illegal. I'm sorry. Go ahead. You were talking.
No, it's fine. Here's the thing, though. Like, them doing that just here's the thing. Whenever somebody complains about the players leaving their game or not purchasing Bud Light, that kind of stuff, and then they kind of attack the people leaving, that was your last chance to get them back. Go, wait a minute. Maybe we did screw up.
We fucked up somewhere.
Well, that takes humility.
Yeah, no. And on top of that, their new CEO's name, Cham. I'm sorry, I feel bad for that guy. That guy's name is literally Shams Georgiani.
Anyway, But that was one of the reasons why Final Fantasy XIV has been doing so good over the years too, is the fact that Yoshi P understands that. It's like, you're going to leave. It's fine. We'll still be here. We'll still keep bringing things for you to do.
Yeah.
That's why
You
I
know,
still
very
got it
few games
installed.
do that, but you know, Helldivers was one of those that was looking like it would do that sort of thing. Then PlayStation came in, fucked up all that. Then the community managers ripped the mask off, and it's like, guys, where's the guy at the top to tell him to stop to knock that shit out?
Well, yeah,
He's
I
not
mean,
there anymore.
the thing that was interesting to me about Helldivers, again, I never played. It was specifically not my jam, but um, even the posts that I would see, the gamers loved it because it was so no F's given. Yeah, you don't like this, we'll do it harder. It was very aggressive. It was very fun. It was very funny. It was very for super Earth and spread democracy
Oh
and we
yeah,
don't
I
care.
enjoyed it every
It
minute
was
of it.
it's very masculine though, and they're trying to put this feminine energy into it, and you can just feel it, and everybody's rebelling. They don't really
Same thing that happened to Star Wars.
yeah. Oh, they tried to turn that so hard into a girl brand. It's and it's not. And I'm like, we want more girls to like it. It's like, yeah, but you still want it to be what it is. Appealing to more girls would just be, you know, you actually put actual women into it. Like we liked Leia. We were cool with Leia. We
Yeah.
also
Oh yeah.
like hot guys in general, just like dudes like hot girls. Let's just
Yeah,
I'm about to
that's
say, well,
why.
I don't like
Who
hot
is it?
guys. I mean,
Jason
I got
Stamo
Zio.
or who's
I said
Aquaman?
just I'm talking about the girls that they're trying to bring over. Like there's certain people that are not going to like something, you know, and they didn't even like try to keep the original spirit of Star Wars.
Yeah.
Yeah. What's his name? The Aquaman guy.
Grims?
No, Aquaman.
Oh, Aquaman. I thought I said Diablo Man. I was like,
Diablo Man.
Jason
Aquaman.
Momoa?
Yeah, Momoa.
yeah,
There we go.
Momoa.
Like
Mimosa.
Momoa will put female butts in seats.
Oh yeah, my gosh, my sister. Like I
You
like
know,
it just
it's
because.
like when you do something like that,
Yeah.
women will come to
I
see
mean,
Momoa.
look,
Maybe
I'm not gay,
what's her
but
name, but
Jason Momoa.
Yeah, he's an attractive guy, and he has a fun masculine aura about him. The
Yeah.
way he does
Meanwhile,
things, don't care, kind of rough, kind of gruff, you know. And it was a fun movie, honestly. I mean, I
Yeah.
don't go to movies to stare at guys, but I know there are plenty of girls who do. My sisters are several of them because I have several sisters. They will be like, "Oh, this dude is hot. I will totally watch this movie. I don't care." It's like,
but
yeah,
then
but
you
the
get the
movie's
men who
terrible.
show
I
up
don't
just
care.
because it's Aquaman.
Yeah. Well,
You know, so
I
you
think that there are
hit both
7.
sides when you do things like that.
Well, to be fair, like actual Aquaman, I think there are maybe 7 people in the world who'd be like, an Aquaman movie, finally. But like this version of Aquaman, which is truly not Aquaman, this is more like Aqua Bro, but you know, it's fine.
Yeah,
It was
it's better than
for
the
what
old
it was.
Aquaman.
For what it was, it was a fun movie. I had fun. I laughed, even, you know, didn't know what Amber Heard was, but still, I was able to suspend my whatever feelings and just laugh at the movie. I was like, this is fun. This is fine, you know. I didn't go into it expecting, you know, Tolkien.
Speaking of low ratings, though,
Oh.
let's talk about this for a second. Doctor Who showrunner admits ratings for the show are trash and it hits could be scrapped. So
Okay.
apparently, I guess Doctor Who's finally getting scrapped in the near future.
Yeah.
So I've never been a Whovian.
I have.
I tried watching because I have this thing where I can't watch a series from like the midpoint. I have to start at the very beginning. So I tried to start at the very beginning and I was like, wow, this is not interesting. This is not for me. But I mean, just the bits that I saw of this new Doctor Who, was Doctor Who always like really campy, goofy, almost stage play feeling?
Yep. Okay, so I'm a Whovian, kind of.
Uh-huh.
All right, I started with New Who before this New Who. I
Yeah.
can't remember who the guy it was,
David
but it was
Tennant.
no, it wasn't David Tennant. It was before David Tennant. It was the other guy with Rose. Those were the first ones I actually saw of Doctor Who because I didn't know Doctor Who was a thing before that.
Mm-hmm.
Now, naturally, I went back to watch Old Who, and oh my gosh, it just feels boring. I don't know if because half of it's in black and white or what the deal is, but I don't like Old Who that much. And I'm sure
So
somebody
you're
will
like,
crucify me for that. That's fine. I prefer it from Rose on up. That
Okay.
was the best 2 for me. Well, David Tennant was the best 2. But the Doctor has been embodied by the actor, essentially. Like, the Doctor's whole personality comes from the actor and how they portray it.
Yeah.
So each actor had their own spin on how the Doctor acts. And that's how it's always been. So whatever current guy, which is this guy here, however he acts is that current iteration of the Doctor and how he acts.
I'm sorry. When the Doctor says honey unironically, it bothers me. And
I
that's not all, honey. Like, no. Don't do that. Don't do that. Girls
which
don't do that.
Doctor
Don't
said
do
that?
that.
The new one.
Was it the
Yeah.
new one? Because I don't
Yeah.
remember the Doctor really
He
doing that.
said he
He
didn't like.
usually always refers to him by name. But I watched the special, the special they had right before this Doctor was launched. Okay,
Yeah.
they brought back my favorite Doctor for the special,
Yeah,
and
Tenet. Mhm.
and naturally I was just like, it's Tenet. I have to see it. I have to see it. I don't care how bad who is, but it's Tenet, and it was good until the final episode.
Where he splits in half, right?
Where he then where then it splits him in half and everything, and there were bits and pieces in there that I just cringed at because it did have that DEI flav in there, because you've got what's her name in the wheelchair, and no, I don't remember any of the real supporting cast for the most part outside of the companions, because the rest of them are trash.
Yeah.
But you've got what's her face in the wheelchair, right? And they did make a handicap joke right at the beginning of this whole thing, where the soldier's like, we're waiting for you, ma'am, or waiting for you to go up, and she's like, dude, I'm in a wheelchair, just go. And he's like, oh yeah, my bad. Salutes and goes off, kind of deal. And I was like, okay, that's kind of funny, but she's got like machine guns in her
Yeah.
wheelchair and
Ironside,
shit.
basically.
And
Yes.
is getting around and
Yes.
being girl bossy in the thing, and I'm just like, I can't take her seriously. I'm sorry. And then they did the whole. They brought back Donna, of course, for it, which that was a pleasant surprise. I like Donna, but then they went into the whole. It's because we're both women, kind of bullshit, kind of thing, and
Well,
because
the
she
funny thing
had an
about that,
offspring, her portion of the Doctor or of the of Gallifrenian went into the daughter, so she was able to survive getting her memories back, but then they had to let it go because women know how to let things go. And I'm like,
no,
no women know how to let things go. They will remind you of something you did 10 years ago.
Women have to learn how to let things go. We can do it. It is within our power because we're humans and humans are amazing. But that is not our natural way. We
It
know
was
how to let
things
things
like
go.
that during it that I cringed, because she would be like, "Oh, because doctor, it's because we women know how to let things go," and I'm just like, "I'm sorry, what? Who the fuck wrote this?" And then, of course, they did the whole pronoun thing partway through it too.
Well, you know
Because they
why
had
though,
the
right?
meep, and the doctor was calling it, I guess, a he or something at first. And then one of them was like, "You can't call it a he. We didn't ask for its pronouns. What's your pronouns?" or some shit. And the meep is like, "Meep? It's meep?" I'm like, what? That was not necessary in this at all. It's an alien who doesn't seem to speak English, and then does speak because it's an evil alien, it turns out. But
Yeah.
it was a nice fun romp for 3 episodes, and then they split him, and he's now by what was it, bi-generational or some weird thing,
Yeah.
because bi-regeneration, generated, I don't know, they made up a word for it, I think.
Yes.
Where you've now got 2 doctors, so so my favorite doctor gets to live out with Donna and them, and I guess he's still technically a Time Lord. Then they split the everything in half, so they made a second one because the rules were in place, and now this guy's going out, we're following him, so he's not even the original Doctor anymore. Because I was wondering how they were getting around the whole fact that he's already regenerated more times than he was supposed to begin with. And I'm not even sure how he wound up being David Tennant, because I didn't bother watching what who she who?
Oh,
And he was just like, no, I just woke up with this face and I've never had the same face twice. And I'm like, okay, I don't care. It's David Tennant.
And
But it still
this
had its
breaks
problems.
all the freaking lore of Doctor Who, because the whole thing was
Well, they
they
already
all
broke it.
died. All the Time Lords died. They couldn't regenerate. And then like, I mean, they can regenerate, but because they died in the way they died, they couldn't. And Doctor Who was the last one.
Well, there was also Master and
Well, yeah,
yeah.
until we found like the foils and stuff. But what I'm getting at is there at no point was, hey, let's split like a freaking cell in the body
Yeah, that's pretty much what
and
happened.
repopulate the Time Lords. That it's infuriating, because I used to be a Whovian. I used to be a don't go there. Let's just say I was part of a lot of fandoms. Some I don't talk about anymore.
Yeah.
oh, sorry.
No,
But-
it's a weird community, one of them that I used to be a fan of. Anyway, so they the whole thing with Doctor Who and the way they're doing it is, and by the way, this is Doctor Who, this is comics, this is everything. You notice they try to, and like you said, Meg, feminize everything. I
Yeah.
think it's even more nefarious than that. Now, this is probably the red pill kind of BS coming out of me, but I think they're trying to get rid of male spaces as much as humanly possible. And for a lot of feminists, I think that, and now granted, this is just a bit of a side effect, but I think they're trying to drive up male suicide.
I don't know if it's as nefarious, at least on the human level. Like, we can talk about the spiritual realm if you want, but I think that for the human level, I think that it's literally just this. There's a party happening over in that room. I'm not a part of it. I totally want to be a part of it. Make me a part of it. I want to be a part of it. Let me in. And then you
Yeah.
get there, and then they go, "Why is your party like this? You know what would be better?" And this is the problem. So I was a tomboy as a child. Shocking, I'm sure. But and I had to deal with the whole boys not wanting girls to play. And I found that obnoxious. It was irritating.
Well,
I was like,
listen,
dude, I
women
literally
have cooties.
well, I was like, dude, I just want to play the game. And they're like, no, you're going to mess up the game. I'm like, no, I'm going to beat you in it. And so, like, that was my thing. But now looking back, and I'm like, I feel like I owe those dudes an apology. Not because I screwed up their game, but because their fears were well founded. Because this is what happened. You get this kind of stuff. I mean, this guy, like, I don't know if you watched this whole Who iteration here
I
with
watched an
Judy
episode and couldn't
Gatwa.
finish.
He's very, very feminine. And the thing that irritated me, I mean, among other things about the whole the special was what's her name? Donna's quote unquote daughter, which was actually a man.
Oh wait, was that a no?
Yes,
girl.
that's a dude. That's a trans person.
They didn't say that in the Christmas
Yes,
special.
they
So,
did. They did, because there's
Did I
a
miss
moment
that
where
bit?
these people are driving by and call the person David, and the mother goes freaking dead naming, and then she just goes
I
on to
missed
talk.
that bit then.
Yeah.
Holy shit, that was a quick
Yes.
throwaway somewhere.
And if you really look at the like, this is a very pretty guy. I believe he's had work done, but like I don't know if you're on YouTube, you might not be anymore. But
yeah, well, it happens.
Sumi friend. I'm a girl. I'm sorry. I find this irritating, okay? Like when they're like, "Oh, I'm so excited to get my period." Said no woman ever. No woman is excited about that. It's awful.
Man is
They
either.
are on Twitter
every month.
apparently.
No. Like, I'm bleeding. No, you're not happy about this. This
No,
means your
I
life is
married
very
for, like-
different, and you make a lot of calculations for that month.
I was married for 10 years, and Shark Week was the week you wanted to avoid. You had chocolates, you had heating pads, you had everything in the world that you needed to survive Shark Week. And let me tell you, if you're not properly prepared, it will eat you alive.
I was married for 18 years, and let me tell you,
But yeah, I mean, it had some throwaway things in there, but it was David
that's
Tennant, so I
why
sat through it.
I
And
think that's why the whole "you didn't ask it its pronouns" was so significant to that character. And if you notice at the end when they're kind of tearing David Tennant down, it's like, "It's a shame you're not a woman anymore because she'd have understood."
oh yeah, I remember that bit.
It says something a male presenting doctor could never understand. And that's because this is a physical male that's saying this, just, on lots and lots of hormones and drugs and stuff. But,
Yeah.
anyway, sorry.
Yeah,
That's just,
that actually makes sense now. I missed that one little bit, and now some of it makes more sense. But yeah, I mean, I tried to watch this Doctor for an episode, and it just did not jive with me at all. I was like, okay, yep, it's back to being shit again.
that's what I mean by the honey. He said that a couple of times in the new series. Not in the I don't think he said that in the special. I do remember when he split off though. I was like, he
But
kind of minces and prances a bit,
I did like that they went deep lore and brought back the toy maker for like the final time, because that has been something that was hinted at a long time ago, because it was an old Who when he first met the toy maker, and he's like, we're going to do this again. And then he does it again, and then we're at the last time doing it, and it's just like that was a nice little wrap up to that, because most
I mean, if
of the
you're a
time
Whovian,
they go
sure,
the
but
Acolyte version and just bastardize the entire lore.
yeah. But I mean, the thing is that there's a difference between something being good for what it is, something being good objectively, and then something being enjoyable. And I think that this kind of failed on most of those, although it probably did hit a few of the, hey, remember this, remember that, member berry module in your brain, especially after the 13th season 13. Is that what it was? Jodie Whittaker. Jodie Whittaker as the duck
Oh my
warning
gosh,
doctor.
she was so insufferable as the Doctor. She was like trying to be Tennant, but couldn't pull it off. And that was like the first time, if you've been watching Who, that you kind of realize that every Doctor has had their own flavor of the Doctor. Personality, everything changes, but then this one is trying to imitate previous Doctors.
Yeah.
And it's just not coming off right at all. And it's like,
you
were supposed to make the Doctor your own.
Yeah. And well, to be fair, this guy totally is, but I don't think he should have done that. I think he should have channeled something slightly less irritating. He cries in every. Disbrew pointed this out. Dude cries every episode. Every episode he cries.
Gosh, really?
Yes. And he would get Disbrew would get so mad. Like sometimes I'm not upset about someone crying. If something terrible happened, there's an episode of The Acolyte, which is not a good show, but there's an episode of The Acolyte where, oh gosh, dude from Squid Game, he has this moment where he's like, his whole team just got murdered in front of him and he alone remains. And he just kind of has this moment where he's clearly upset. He's trying to pull it together and not freak out and be still stoic about it. But he has a moment by himself. And Disbrew's like losing his mind. He's like, I don't care. And I'm like, no, let him have that. That was actually good. That's a good moment in a terrible show. But yes, in this, every episode, Gatwa cries. Every episode. And it's just like, okay, I'm going to need you to man up a little bit. Like, sack up, dude.
It's like, you're the freaking Doctor. You can't be sitting there crying all the time. Like,
no.
We've already gone through the arc where the Doctor, regrets everything. We've gone through it. It was a decent arc. We don't need to redo it.
Yeah. The thing is that I never watched the Tennant thing. The thing is that I don't like the idea of the Doctor constantly changing, because I'm like, well, that's not the same guy. I liked that guy. I don't want another guy. I'm that kind of person. I'm like, no, I'm used to this thing. Don't change this thing. I'm mad about it now. So I've never been like a Whovian, but I've seen clips of David Tennant in moments of Doctor Who. I'm like, dang, I kind of feel like I should watch this show, but I won't know all the lore. I won't understand everything.
I wish they didn't change the Doctor like every 2 seasons. They should have kept the same Doctor a little bit longer than what they did. But it was when they went with the old guy. I can't remember what his name is. That is when it really went downhill for me.
Mm.
Well, the funny thing is,
liked him as the Doctor either.
My favorite.
So it was before Jodie Whittaker. but it was the one right before her, because then we had the regeneration to the old guy, and we brought what's her name? Got what was her name? Claire, I think. God, I hated Claire so fucking much. As a companion, she should just rot somewhere. Like the doctor needs to just lock her in a mirror and leave her or something. Gosh, she's an insufferable bitch. Anyway, I just
All right.
hated those entire
So-
seasons of the Doctor.
Yeah, so I'll say this: my favorite character in Doctor Who wasn't even Doctor Who. Wasn't he? By the way, wasn't even the companion. It was the I think they call him the Centaurian, the Rowan.
Centaurian. It's yeah, I can't remember what his name
But
is.
basically, this dude
Now. Give me a second.
waited for Rose for literally an eternity, literally thousands of years, because he couldn't die where this trap was. Like he was trapped in eternity, and she was trapped in this vault, and he had to wait.
Rory.
Roy.
There we go.
Roy.
It's Rory. I like Jack.
That clip of him sitting there waiting in Centaurian clothes, and the funniest thing is, he had the most badass line. He walked up to a literally in a ship full of enemy Cybermen, I think it was, and he was like, "I got a message." And then all of a sudden, you see in the background a ship of theirs. He's like, "I got a message from the Doctor," and they're about to jump on him, and then they stop, and then all of a sudden, a ship blows up in the background. You see it on their like little screen, and then he's like, "Do you want me to repeat it?" Literally,
Yeah.
doesn't say anything, just boom.
It's like that's back when the Doctor was good.
Yeah.
Like
And then
my favorite person, I think, has been Jack Harkness, which then he got his own spinoff, which I like too,
Oh yeah.
Torchwood, and I wish they never would have canceled it.
Let me tell you something. Jack Harkness is how you do, and I'm just going to sound terrible. How you do gay right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he was a gay guy. I forgot about that.
Yeah.
But I love.
He was very
Jack.
much bi, and he was very suave. It was really refreshing.
But I
Because that
think
wasn't, here's the thing, that wasn't his only attribute. He wasn't the gay guy, the bi guy.
Yeah.
He wasn't the trans guy. He wasn't even trans, because that mental illness wasn't a thing back then. He was just a dude who happened to like playing both sides of the field. He was a adventurer. He was this, like, he couldn't be killed. He was immortal.
Mm-hmm.
Which meant that he would get killed and then come back and be like, well, that was weird.
but I think that's interesting though, because like Zio said, he didn't even remember that was an aspect of his character. And I think that that's when you say, like Chad said, that's how you do it right. When it's not your personality that you happen to like X, Y, or Z, you have your own character, there's something else to you rather than, oh, I just happen to fancy this side or that side. That's irrelevant. It's not a character. It's not a character trait. It's just a thing. Anyway, go ahead.
But yeah, anyway, so Doctor Who's not doing so well. This might be the last season. I don't know. Of course, I was kind of expecting the last season to be the last season. So,
the space babies. Ugh. They kept yelling "space babies" all the time. Space babies, space babies, space babies. Stop it! Just that's too many syllables for one. Just stop. You don't have to say space babies all the time. Just babies, children. Baby, it's weird to say.
They also ruined Doctor Who lore with the Jodie Whittaker stuff, so it doesn't really matter at this point.
No,
they took a dump on lore with that one.
I don't know the lore. I'm just saying, as a show, this is irritating to watch. It's just
it is.
Ugh. All right, go ahead. What's the next topic? I want to rant about something new.
Alrighty. After a senior writer attempted to boycott Hogwarts Legacy, remember that game, everybody? Anyway, her Wonder Woman game is reportedly troubled, and studio could be shut down.
Oh, that's terrible.
That's horrible. What will I ever
there was a Wonder Woman game out?
It's awful when bad things happen to bad people. It's just the worst.
Seriously. What will I ever do? Oh, I know. I'll just dance on their graves too, because that's something they like to do to people.
This is turning us into bad people. Kind of
is,
awful
like,
people in some ways.
all these awful people have turned me into a bad person, and I don't give a damn anymore.
And that's the thing. I need to care. I should care, but I just don't. They're
It's
like,
like
oh, these people got laid off. Really? Good.
On a side note, Kotaku also closed down their Australian branch. Oh no, good riddance.
Oh
Anyway,
no, say it ain't so. Oh no, please come back.
but Monolith Productions' Wonder Woman game is reportedly in development trouble in the wake of the game's senior writer attempting to boycott Hogwarts Legacy and trying to get GOG employee fired.
Oh, this is a gross person. This gross person deserves a comeuppance.
Yeah, the Wonder Woman game was officially announced, blah, blah, blah. I don't give a damn. It sucks anyway. They added power, the Nemesis system gamers, blah, blah, blah. In 2023, writer Tanya DePass, really? We're French, aren't we? Anyway, announced she was working on the game. She posted on X. Okay, enough vague booking. I accepted a position at Monolith Production as the senior writer of a Wonder Woman game. DePass previously participated in the failed boycott of Hogwarts Legacy. That was a failure, by the way. They went full bore with that one too. Holy shit, did they fail that? In 2018, attempted to fire a GOG employee by claiming the employee engaged in transphobic behavior.
I hate the bastardization of the word phobic.
Yeah, I was exactly about to say that. I was like, I do not fear you.
I can't. If anyone says anything is phobic at this point, I'm just like roll my eyes because like you said, they've bastardized the word phobic. Phobic has a specific meaning. Yeah. It is the fear of.
Almost clinical.
And just because you disagree with it or don't like it doesn't mean you fear it. Yeah. Otherwise, there wouldn't be a problem here because guess what? If all these people were transphobic or homophobic, you just have to get next to one of them and they would run for the fucking hills like when you see a spider.
Yeah. If anything, I would say they're afraid of people who have dissenting opinions, which I think that might be there's a phobia for everything. So that's probably a phobia of something else. But what kills me is I do not fear them. I do not hate them, even though it may seem like that at times. I pity them because they legit have a mental illness that is not being taken care of properly because of this political bullshit.
Yeah, because of the savior complex and people want to feel like they're good and nice people. This is again feminine. This is how women virtue signal. I'm such a nice person that I will take you under my wing and I will be praised for being this kindly person. It's Mother Gothel all over again.
See that right there is just selfish because you're not letting you know what? This is way off topic. I'm sorry.
So, is it though? This is toxic femininity, okay? Masculinity can be toxic and it's very obvious because the world is now on fire and it's blown up. Everybody's dead.
Problem.
When women go toxic, this is what happens.
I've been gaming for a long time, and I'm tired of not seeing myself in this media. That's her problem. Anyway.
No, that's not a thing. That's a you problem, darling. That means that you have not been trying hard enough because I have seen myself in everything that I wanted to because I will relate to that character and I'll be like, I like this character. Come on, this is my character. I'm going along. I've been Link. I've been Chun-Li. I've been Luigi. I wasn't a huge Mario fan. I've been Toadstool.
Yoshi's
I've been
better.
all of these characters, and I don't look like any of them. I look barely like myself.
Yeah.
So
I really hate that whole argument. The whole I never see myself in the media and stuff. And it's like, yeah, neither have I. And I'm a white guy for fuck's sake. Oh, but there's white. Yeah, so what?
Well, are they talking
just because Jason Drake exists doesn't mean I think I'm him, for fuck's sake.
Well, I mean, what does she mean by that though? I mean, or is she saying like you don't see this as your avatar in this game? Like you're kind of like if you're writing something, you kind of import yourself into the story as this character. Otherwise, when you're writing the character, it makes no sense.
What it is.
Or is it just cosmetic? Is it just they don't share my skin tone and my hairstyle?
They don't look like her physically, therefore it's an issue. Games are old enough to where we should be on the point that the same scruffy white dude as the protagonist
That's
or the
racist.
tired racial stereotypes or tropes.
What? What is she
That's-
on about?
That was her full quote. I am tired of seeing myself, or I'm sorry, I've been gaming a long time and I'm tired of not seeing myself in the medium. Games are old enough to where we should be beyond the same scruffy white dude as the protagonist or tired racial stereotypes or tropes.
But here's the funny thing. These people are the ones propagating these stereotypes. I can name several games that came out that had the token black guy or the token black girl who's sassy
Again,
and
The amount of attitude that is
listen.
put onto Black people is so frustrating because I have none of that. I'm not like that at all. Like, y'all ain't gonna do that to me. Like, oh God, please don't do that
Oh,
again.
now there you
I
are.
just-
There's the stereotype. Jeez, let me go get the Kool-Aid. Anyway,
well, I can
Yeah,
also
what?
sound like a British person, so I can do anything I
like
want.
I got
really.
Kool-Aid because I have kids. They like Kool-Aid. Anyway. No, but we can go back to the previous example. Jack Harkness. It's a gay dude in Doctor Who.
Yeah.
That was gay done right.
Yeah.
The next time they do gay, I mean, it's just
It's
it's
shooting
not
butt
done right. It's a stereotypical something another. And there's nothing wrong with stereotypes either. Because there have been games who do the stereotypical thing, whether it's the stereotypical bro dude or the stereotypical gay guy. Because I forgot what it was, but it was
They're called
apparently
archetypes.
there was a hit game, older game for like Wii or something.
Mhm.
Not All Heroes or something like that. I can't remember what it was, but apparently a lot of people loved it.
No
but
More
they had
Heroes.
these two guys or in it who were apparently like flaming gay. There was no way around it. That was the straight up stereotype archetype of their character thing. There was nothing wrong with it then. There is now apparently, but you know.
I mean, and then you got a stereotype in Handsome Jack that I think nobody really clicked with. Like they didn't realize it because he was such a fun character and such an evil character. You love to hate him, kind of thing. But he was
Wasn't that Borderlands?
Borderlands 2.
Oh, yeah, I like him. Anyway.
He was by far the best, and that was before 3 and oh my god. 3 I had to put away. I literally almost punched my monitor. No game has ever done that to me.
Honda. Why?
There was one character, Maya, who was pretty cool.
Mhm.
Much like your reaction to Nessa when we went over Path of Exile. I was like, oh, she's really cool. Oh, she's dead.
She's not dead. She hasn't gotten
Dead
that
enough.
far.
Anyway,
Has she been dissolved into the force? Is that what
Listen,
happened?
I
pretty
like
much.
Nessa too.
but so
It's a
here's the
shame
thing.
what happens to her.
Maya is getting attacked by the twins who are trying to be Handsome Jack and failing. But they're trying to be new age Handsome Jack where they got a podcast and they're doing all this stuff to make content and evil. I mean, I kind of agree. Most content creators are evil, but so there's this boss fight. Now, here's the thing: this little kid is with you, who is Maya's like apprentice,
Mhm.
and she's like a siren in training, which is one of the classes.
That's my
And-
favorite class.
What kills me is that at the end, by the way, you're watching this. You are a guy with 50,000 guns in his inventory for anything. He is the USA embodied. And then this kid goes up and tries to protect Maya, and Maya gets dusted. And by the way, I'm sitting there after the boss fight and then goes to the cutscene. I'm sitting there watching this, and the whole time I'm thinking, why am I not fighting? Why am I not fighting? Why am I not protecting this child? Why am I not protecting my friend? Like, these are things going through my head because I'm just sitting there watching. I'm not, by the way, you are not even lassoed down. You are not incapacitated in any way. And then I get back to the starship where people from the old other NPCs from the old Borderlands say, "Oh, you could do nothing. You didn't. You know, there was nothing you could do to save her." I was like, "Bullshit! I have more guns than the U.S. Army. What the fuck you mean I couldn't save her? The game wouldn't let me save her because of narrative reasons.
Yeah,
And it
that's
was
what
just
happened to me in Cyberpunk 2077.
Well, they have to actually, if they want to do that, if they want to freeze you in time, make you watch something terrible and you're powerless to stop it, they have to give you a reason, not
Yeah.
just, oh, you don't happen to be on screen at the moment, therefore you don't exist right now.
the
Which is
whole
the
time I'm
problem
just
with
sitting there like
And
I'm
it's a
standing
problem
there
with a lot of
watching.
modern writing, especially
Yeah.
with like Zio. Once you get to Star Wars Episode 5, you're going to be like, why isn't this person helping? Oh, they weren't on screen, so they didn't exist right
well, I
then.
mean, I got that
understand.
I got that from the first episode too, because you've got Jedi sitting there and everybody else in the bar is getting fucking slaughtered, and I'm like, you're a fucking Jedi. Why the hell are you not already up
Well, the Jedi don't
kicking
attack the
ass?
unarmed.
Do what?
No, just the line that she says: "The Jedi do not attack the unarmed." Okay.
Oh, whatever bullshit is that?
The
Come
fuck
on, the
they
Jedi
don't.
fucking help people.
Yeah. So these are people who
And these are
understand the
people who
most.
are essentially defending you at the moment, and
Yeah.
you're just going to sit there and be like, no, that's not that is the mindset of the gang, where the guy who's in charge is like, I can't be bothered with this, you guys take care of it, and then
Mhm.
walks in 5 minutes later and goes, damn it, what the hell did you cockroaches do?
Yeah.
Apparently not fucking shit. You're worth less than the dust on my boots. Let me show you how it's done. That's that archetype
Yeah.
embodied in a fucking Jedi now, and I'm just like, who the fuck wrote that?
People who only superficially understand Star Wars.
Yeah,
Okay.
but
Anyway,
anyway,
back to
Wonder
this.
Woman.
but yeah, like I was playing Cyberpunk 2077 last night for the first time, and a similar thing happened. These guys come in, fuck me up pretty much. My bro is standing there watching, by the way. Well, they fuck me up and demand the data, and I'm like, I don't want to give you the data. Gives me a second option. I choose that, where I pretty much tell them to go fuck themselves, essentially. And then it goes back to the two options again. I'm like, you're going to force me to just hand over the data. Bro, why don't you do something? Help me out here.
Yeah.
So then I have to give them the data.
Also,
And
why is
then
that an option?
they're like,
if-
okay, now you're coming with us so we can finish you off, kind of deal, because we got what we wanted. Then bro steps in and says, you want to start something? I'll pop a cap in you. And I'm like, bro, where the fuck were you the last 5 minutes when I was trying not to give them shit? You were right there.
Yeah, when people
That's
say
bad
I don't
writing.
see myself in this character, I wish they actually would see themselves in that scene. I don't care if you see yourself in that character like it doesn't look like me. I wish you just see yourself in that scene to where you say, okay, if I were standing here and this person that I really care about is having this happen to him, what would I do? Because that makes no sense. He would just pop a cap in him at first, but he just waits while you get the crap beat out of you. That makes no sense. That doesn't make any sense. That
And
makes no
then he's
sense as
just
a
like, everyone
writer.
in this bar is going to shoot you if you try to remove my boy. And it's like, dude, where were you when they were just muscle? Like, you were sitting next to me when they showed up, got up, walked to the railing right there, stood next to the second fucker while they manhandled me. It did nothing.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah,
I'm
they
like,
should have made it to where
that
you
was
didn't have an
crap.
option also.
By the way, I could go into a tirade about how Cyberpunk 2077 so far is not shaping up to be anything like the hype train was going on about. I am very disappointed with that game so far.
I'm
I
sorry.
understand that Small is like enjoying it and stuff, and I guess it gets better or whatnot. But so far, for the past 2 hours that I played it, that game is not that great. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
But
that's why
anyway.
I was kind of hesitant to even consider, even though they said
Well,
it got better. I'm like,
Well, Small sent it to me, so I thought it was on my list of things to eventually play,
oh,
because
okay.
it was supposed to be like GTA but better. And I mean, I can get some aspects are better of it, but that's a whole other video. We
Yeah.
can say that for another
Anyway.
time, because I'll be here for a hot minute dissecting just the first 2 hours of play. Although it did make me chuckle at parts, like the MILF guard ad right at the end. That was funny. But you know what? I think it's time, since we're
God.
talking about diluting words and what they mean. I've
I have
got
to
my
apologize for the female race, for the female species, half of the species right now. So I'm sorry in advance.
well, I've got my one of my disabilities back here that occasionally likes to flare up and get in front of my monitor. For those who want to see, she's right over here on a box somewhere.
My disability is sleeping in the closet.
And I've got like 2 other disabilities running around, plus the 2 humanoid disabilities that are running around, just not tonight. So I have plenty of disabilities that could flare up at any time when I'm streaming. It's great, it's lovely. So I'm gonna have to
Apply
use
for a
that from now on.
disability.
But let's let this play out real quick and then talk about it.
Moving is consent. There are long-term disabilities. There are situational disabilities. There are temporary disabilities. It counts as a disability where a video game like Elden Ring is concerned if you have a kid. You have a 2-year-old, you're trying to play Elden Ring, you can't pause. That is a situational disability that you have, where the game not having the option for you to be able to pause, for example, is a hindrance for your particular disability, a situation is concerned. There are long-term disabilities. There are situational.
I forgot that clip is only 30 seconds. So I watched the full video, by the way, of this.
I did too. I just
She's talking about Microsoft's disability flyer thingamabobber.
so this is again my being
Where is
pissed off about
There it
people
is.
using words incorrectly. That is not a disability. That is she's just trying to put it under that umbrella to get more eyes to it. And she has. Congratulations. She's now famous, probably for the wrong reasons, for being
Mhm.
a freaking retard. But this is not how you use that word. That's not disability. That's an inconvenience, but it's not a disability. But if you say inconvenience, it's an inconvenient moment for me to not be able to hit pause. And I totally agree. I know I hate
Yeah.
it when games don't allow me to pause. But I understand it. It still pisses me off. But that's not disability. She's trying to shoehorn that into something to get A, more sympathy, and 2, to kind of force people to act in this way. Again, very feminine, but also very toxic. So I'm sorry, that's it. I'm gonna stop that.
So I particularly have a bone to pick with her verbiage.
Well, you know my bone.
I know your bone, but you ready to hear mine? Because you would
All
think,
right.
what the hell problem do I have with this, right? I was fucking disabled for a while. I
Me
had
too.
epilepsy.
I mean, right back there, that disables me every so often too.
No, I had
This-
epilepsy until recently.
Yeah,
and
look. My disability back there is bad. Is worse. Let me tell you.
agreed. So
Well, let's just say
I'm
that
sorry,
nobody
continue.
deserves more sympathy than anybody else. She's just as sympathetic as you were when you had actual epilepsy.
no, because I'm not sympathetic. I didn't rely on it like, oh, pity me, bullshit. No, I did. By the way, my ex-wife had to fight with me to sign up for stuff like Medicare, Medicaid. I was like, no, I don't want to. I'll pay
Yeah,
for
this is why I bother Chad when he doesn't respond after a long time. I'm like, Chad, are you there? Don't die on me today.
Well, the thing is, so like, I
Oh,
was
this
on
is dudes
I was
versus
on
chicks
Medicare,
out there.
Medicaid, and I'm now off of it, not by choice, and I'm also not on my meds anymore. Again, not by choice. But here's the funny thing: I don't have seizures anymore, even off my meds. It's been months. I don't think I need to go back on meds. But more to the point, I cannot stand it when people are like, "I'm disabled," or like, "I have cancer, but I really don't."
Oh,
I'll
hi,
be for
Boogie.
later. And just like the use of disability when you're just a shit person is frankly sickening to me and offends me. And I have to mentally restrain myself from getting physical with bastards that fake this shit, because it is one of 2 red buttons I have, which, by the way, this hit both of them. Calling your children a fucking disability.
Yeah.
Yeah, bullshit. And
Yeah,
how,
like,
by
the
the way,
entire
I'm
situation
sure they'd appreciate
needs
that.
to be cut off because these are just inconveniences.
yeah. And what kills me is that your kid is going to see that video. What do you
Yeah.
think they're going to think? They're going to think that their mom doesn't love them, and rightfully so.
Well, she ain't gonna have kids.
No, she
doesn't
does.
No.
have kids.
Oh no, she doesn't have them. That's right. That's right.
No, she doesn't have any children. No.
No, but like seriously, I made a little video responding to that because I'm a dick like that. And of course, I posted it on TikTok along with everything else. And of course, I had some smooth brain come in about a pause button. It's like nobody gives a damn about a pause button. Like I get that's what she's going on about. Pause the game, blah blah blah. It's a FromSoft game, for fuck's sake, guys.
Mhm.
They do things deliberately a specific way. If they
Yeah.
wanted you to pause, you could fucking pause. And you can actually pause Elden Ring if you go into a specific menu. Of course, that requires you to know that. But if they wanted you to pause, they would have put a fucking pause button in there.
Yeah.
It's a FromSoft game. They do things deliberately, so complaining about it and bullshit isn't really going to help anything.
It's
But
not
this
her
whole
game.
situational, like this is the Microsoft design toolkit of inclusivity. This whole right side needs to be chopped off. Like
Yeah.
when you say disability to any normal person, what do you get out of it? They think you're paralyzed, you're blind, you're deaf, something to that nature, and a real disability. And then you can be temporarily disabled, have a temporary disability, like you've broke your arm.
Hmm.
I got that. Like this half right here is fine. That's
Yeah.
correct. Maybe
Mhm.
not an ear infection, but if you have cataracts, yeah, I can. That actually may not be a temporary disability either. That will
sometimes you can have
probably
those
be
removed.
more permanent, but you could also get it repaired and fixed if you have the money.
Mhm.
But some of this stuff, when you talk and say somebody, you're disabled, like my sis, she's got a wheelchair, she's got cerebral palsy or whatever it's called. Anyway, she has braces to walk with,
Mhm.
right? They attach to her shoes, they go into the shoes, upper legs, allows her to walk. And
They're
if
doing
we're going to
some
go
good
out
work in that
somewhere,
field, by the way.
do what?
They're doing some good work in the medical field with
Oh yeah.
cerebral palsy. From what I heard, they might be looking at possible cures in the near future.
Well, that would be cool. But she needs help moving around sometimes, and she can walk slowly or kind of waddle, but she waddles slowly. And when we do anything that's long term, like we've gone out to the festival this summer. We went to the festival downtown. Took her wheelchair. I threatened to roll her down the hill. It was all good and fun. And she got the wheelchair so she can be rolled around and all that stuff, but she can still get up and walk and do things. And she's a mother, and all that stuff. She doesn't let it tear her down like these people want to.
Damn straight.
They
That's a
use
strong
their
woman there.
disability essentially as like some kind of get out of whatever free all the damn time, whether they need it or not. And somewhere out there, I guarantee they've got a PhD who has decided that situational disabilities have to be a thing in academia. So they've turned it into a thing so some people can feel special. It's like, oh yeah, I have a disability, so it makes it hard for me to stream. Oh, you do? Oh, that sucks. Yeah, sometimes my kids just bother me, and I can't get them to stay out of the... I'm sorry, what? And that's where we're going with that now.
Well, you know what? They might... You know what? No, Zio, I'm going to renege on this. Maybe they are disabled. Mental disabilities exist, and that sounds pretty fucking insane.
You know what? You're right. They're mentally disabled, aren't they?
I'm probably going to beat this drum because, I mean, most dudes don't know it because they're not women. But this is how women go bad. This is weaponized empathy, which is what you use to become a crybaby.
I like
You
that
say-
term.
And they will say, "You don't care about my disability? You're so mean." And then they'll cry and have all these people try to come and shield them to weaponize your
Knight.
feelings of empathy against them.
Mhm.
This is a Taylor Lorenz sort of thing, you don't care that I'm what is it? Oh gosh, what was it? She was saying it was basically disabled, but I'm like, I'm vulnerable, basically, so that's why she wears a mask everywhere.
Yeah.
I'm medically
vulnerable. Immune compromised.
Yes, thank you.
There we go. You're welcome.
It's because I never heard it before 2020. I never heard immunocompromised. I know it was a thing, but
I've known it was a thing, and then COVID came, and then suddenly everybody was immune compromised, apparently. And I'm just like, when did that happen?
I'll tell you this: a lot of
I
people
don't-
took a vacation during
I
that.
think I can count the amount of people I have met who have legitimate been immune compromised on one hand.
Yeah. I have an
That's
aunt.
0.
I have an aunt who's like that, and I still never heard the term immunocompromised. I knew she was just we said she was delicate and bless her heart, but no, but I mean that's the thing. She was delicate. We're like we have to be careful around her. Her immune system isn't so good. We didn't have this catch-all term that was suddenly bandied about every 5 seconds by someone who just wanted to control the way that you acted by trying to act upon your goodwill as a human being and wanting to do the right thing for your fellow human.
Okay.
And this is what she's trying to do by calling it a disability as opposed to calling it an inconvenience, which it is. It is an inconvenience,
Yes.
and it's freaking annoying. Elden Ring isn't, as far as I know, you're not multiplayer online. There's no reason to not have a pause. But they don't want it.
People like Alinity now get a pass when she chucks her cat because it's just her disability acting up and she's fixing it.
Okay, so real quick, I got to point this out. Zio.
Yes.
How many people do you know that are immune compromised again?
0.
No, you did something specific when you said 0. White supremacist.
Oh yeah. I did the white supremacist sign.
Oh god. Now I can't
started out as a
laugh
meme
about
and then they
that
took
now.
it seriously.
I also drink milk, by the way, if anyone was curious and need to solidify where I lie there. Like I drink straight up white milk and chocolate milk because I'm not racist. But anyway.
But do you mix them together? Otherwise, closet racist.
Well, no, D&D
Well,
would
it
say that
depends
that's
on if I
perfectly
make
correct.
it with Hershey's chocolate or not, because then I have to
Ooh, that
pour the
sounds
white
good.
milk into the chocolate and then mix them up real good.
Oh, you feel me getting more diabetic by the minute listening to
But yeah, apparently
he's also
situational
pansexual.
disabilities and all. So I will now forever refer to my cats and my kids as disabilities on stream.
But here's the thing.
Anytime they get in the way.
Me and Zio have been playing games for a while now, and we play games where you can't pause Path of Exile. And
Yeah.
what happened when Zio had to take care of his kids and be dad for a minute? I was like, I got you, bro. And I spawned like
I was like, I'm standing in a corner. Please don't rape me.
I'm like,
But the thing is that then that's when you discover kind of who you are as a person also. You go, well, I guess I'll die now unless somebody comes to my rescue. But I mean, the thing is that you also do have to have priorities. The fact that this lady is pissing and moaning about this is also like, this speaks to your character, my dear. This shows that you are kind of having the worst sort of priorities right there. No. Like it's absolutely dumb. And that's why so many people were disgusted, and it was on this visceral level to where they were just like, they're using her kids, and I'm like, she doesn't have kids. She's using it to cry bully, my dude. She's using it to weaponize empathy to get what she wants, and
Well,
to
see, we didn't know she
use
didn't
other
have
people
kids
as a
at the
shield,
time.
even because this is not her. This is not her thing. This is not a problem she actually has. She just wants a pause button, so she's trying to throw everything on there to make it sound like she's so virtuous for wanting a pause button, but she really wants it because, she has crap priorities.
Yeah, and this is the other thing that I like to say. What is it, Chad? What is it that I like to tell people if they're deadbeat parents and they're actually using this as a legit excuse?
okay, by the way, I'm going to make merch out of your saying.
Learn to fucking parent. Anyway, I've raised 3 kids at this point. And you know what I did when I was raising the first one and they were in the toddler stage and the baby stage and stuff? I just stopped playing games I couldn't pause. I didn't play WoW. That's why I skipped all of Pandera. I didn't play. Well, I played Diablo on and off because that I could teleport back to town and just redo the area or something. For the most part, I quit playing League of Legends. I quit playing Halo. Anything that I could that was essentially multiplayer and I couldn't play, I just stopped playing. By the time my second kid came around, I learned tricks and trades of being a parent to be able to do that. So I had, say, the baby asleep right here in my lap while I played a match and didn't, throw up or anything like that, or, jump up into the air, that sort of thing, and hoop and holler or anything like that. I kept it quiet, put on headphones, and I had ways to fix this issue so I could still play a game and still was able to tend to my child, right?
Yeah.
And then,
And
of
that's
course,
something that you do as an adult. These people are not adults, they're children.
and a lot of times there are spouses too, And
Mhm.
at the time I was married, so it was, my wife would tend to the kids. I would spend a couple hours playing World of Warcraft again for the first time in forever and stuff like that. But, those you have to take responsibility.
Yeah.
Do the responsible thing. And if you are in a situation where that is not a possible thing for you to do, where your spouse tends to the kid, or you can put the bassinet right next to you while they're taking a nap or something so you can get a game of League in or whatever it is that you're playing,
Mhm.
And even then, when you do things like that, like have, say, the bassinet next to me, I knew there was a chance that I would have to just stop. And
Yeah.
if I die, I died
Yeah.
at that point. Because there was
Absolutely.
nothing I could do about it because the baby took priority at that point, or the kid took priority. So, and now here I am again solo with older kids at this point. The youngest is like 7, but even then they still need you to come in and do things for them from
And
time
pick
to
up
time.
fake poop.
Yeah, and to go clean up fake poop like he did the other night when we were playing.
That was great, by the way.
Got me good with that one too. But I'm solo doing this, so I still have to occasionally do that. Now I play things with Chad for the most part that I can say, Chad, watch me. I gotta go parent.
Yeah, and
right
I don't
back.
even question it. I'm just like, I got you, bro. And by the way, this was the funniest thing. So we were playing Path of Exile. In Path of Exile, I got these totems that I can summon. Or basically summon things that can beat other enemies up for me. So as soon as he's like, I got to go parent, I was like, I got you, bro. Me and the boys will be with you. Boom, I just dropped down my entourage, and we're just like, bring it.
And
Everybody
then, of
going,
course, there are other times where I'm like, well, what is it? And they're like, well, I want this. It's like, well, it can wait a few minutes so I can finish up what I was doing.
Yeah.
And those, of course, choices that you have to make at the time, because it's not a one size fits all. If somebody came in screaming bloody murder because they've got a nail through their finger, which is another one they did to me, by the way.
what?
You have boys. That's the thing.
The youngest one came in and said the oldest one, he got a nail in his finger. I'm like, a nail? How in the world did you wind up with a nail in your finger? I was trying to hang up this. I'm sorry, what? And I came in, and sure enough, he's got a nail through his finger, and it looks like blood on the counter and everything. I'm like, oh, for fuck's. Okay, so I start grabbing paper towels and a towel real quick to start doing things, and then he's like, bloop. And I'm like, wait, what?
Oh, everybody got a whip in there.
It was a fake nail. It's like, kids, you're gonna give me a heart attack. Please stop.
Oh, that's a good one. Wait, how did he do a fake nail? What did he do? Cut a nail in half?
I forgot. One Christmas, he got a magic set.
Yeah.
Oh.
He discovered the magic set again, and there is a nail that clips around the finger like a ring almost, and it goes through, the thing, and then you take ketchup or something.
Yeah.
And do the thing, and when you first look at it, if you don't get up and look at it and realize it's a plastic nail, it kind of looks real for a second.
Oh, God.
I mean, you made your kids' day that day, though. I mean,
that
truly
I'm
did.
sure it was great.
They had the
like,
best.
I got you, Dad. I got you, Dad. It's like, I know, and you're going to give me a heart attack if you keep this up. Can we stop now?
Now you all see why I called Zia one of the best dads I've ever met, because he legit is.
Yeah.
But this whole idea, using things like that as a reason for why you need a pause button in a FromSoft game, come on, this ain't fucking Nintendo. You're playing a FromSoft game. You should know what you're getting into ahead of time at this point.
Absolutely. And the thing is that that's not, this is just being an adult. This is just being a responsible person who is in charge of your own life. Instead of asking other people to fix things and make them easier for you, just understand there are some things that you won't be able to do all the time. This
Yes.
is why people found the whole dink thing to be so irritating. The dual income, no kid. I'm a dink. That means that I can do all of this stuff. Like,
Yeah.
yes, that's true. Your life is very
Yeah, I'll be
hassle
right
free,
back.
and
I gotta take care of the
you
kids.
can just do what you want
All
all
right,
the
take
time.
care,
But
Roughneck.
that's not the purpose of life. And it's fine if you are. Whatever, dude. If you don't have kids, you don't have kids. My husband and I, we do not have kids. I mean, we just got married and we're both old, so there's that. But but the thing is that, I mean, there are times where I'm just like, I can't play my game. And the thing is that I don't even play a lot of games where you can't pause. Path of Exile is one of the few that I do. But even then, I'm like, oh, I'm in the middle of this temple. I don't think I'll be able to finish it. You know, my husband wants to do something in a little bit of time, or he'll be home and he'll want dinner. I guess I can't play my game right now. I'm not going to sit there and say, hey, can they make these temples shorter or give us like a save spot so that way I can come back? No, I have to do this whole temple over again if I'm going to start. I have to know this going in. I'm an adult. That's what happens.
Yeah.
You know, maybe sometimes you can't play your game the way that you want to. Maybe you can't play as often as you want to. But again, this is what we call adulting. This is what we call being a responsible member of society. Otherwise, you're a child. This is not a serious person. This is a child
Yes.
wanting life to be a bed of roses for her that everybody else makes.
Definitely another thing right there is like you've got to plan about these things. Like if I know we're going to be leaving in a bit, and I don't really have time to play my normal games that I would play, like say Path of Exile or something, you know, I'll pick up the Switch.
Yeah.
Because 99.9% of the entire library, or I'm sorry, 100% of that freaking library, I can just put back down on the stand and come back straight to it.
Yeah.
You know, and it's like Grandma was coming to pick him up yesterday because it's the summer and she can't have me bringing them in at 6 a.m. While I go to work. But, you know, he was in the middle of, what was it? Not Modern Warfare, Call of Duty. He plays Call of Duty and Fortnite a lot. And he was in the middle of a match. It's like, when you get off that, you're going to have to find something else to play. That's why I was like, well, Grandma will be here in like 30 minutes. You can't be in the middle of a match when she shows up.
Yeah.
So what did he do? He got off that and he messed on his Switch for a bit.
Yeah.
Because I've been trying to teach him that because you've got to, you know, go around things like that.
Yeah, there will be
You can't
times.
just be in the middle of a match and say, oh, I can't right now. It's like, no, we need to leave now.
Yeah.
I told you 30 minutes. We were leaving right now. We ain't got time to wait for you for the next 15.
Yeah. You will not always be able to do all the things that you want all the time. And that is something that you learn as you get older, as you become a responsible person.
Except for the people who are perpetually children.
Yes, and people like this are perpetually children. A lot of the games journalists are perpetually children.
Which really pisses me off about my generation because they're the ones who are perpetually children, it seems.
What is that? X or
Millennials.
millennial? Oh, millennials.
It's the millennials.
I'm X, so I can look down on you
Like
guys.
I'm an older millennial, like
Yeah.
right there on the cusp between like X and millennial, and I kind of wish I could be. I wish born a few years earlier or something because I can't stand millennials. We're fucking trash. I've seen too many of them. They're trash.
You should
They're
call yourself a mix or
crybabies.
something.
They're weak. I can't even understand why they're so freaking weak. Like I don't get it at all because we grew up in the era with water hoses. And then transitioned into the era of computers.
Yeah.
We were there with X. We were there with the older generation getting into a fight, scrapping it out behind the gas station down the road from the school or whatnot, and then walking away. Right? That my generation was there during that time. And then we transitioned into the computer sides of things. So we know how to build PCs, or we should know how to build PCs, websites, do HTML and all that good jazz because we did it with MySpace and everything. But apparently so many, I guess it's because they classify as a millennial like from like, what is it, 86 to...
No, 80.
Like, or 80? Is it really 80?
No, it's like it depends on where you go, but the most common I've seen is like 81 or 82. That's
Yeah.
the one that I find to be most
Okay.
common, which is
Well,
why I'm
then-
like, oh, I'm in right before millennial.
Okay, so I guess 81 all the way up to like 2000 practically.
really
and then
large
beyond
group.
that, and I'm like, no, a millennial should have been people born in like the late 90s, early 2000s.
That's where my thinking is.
Because it's called a millennial, for fuck's sake.
Yeah.
the new
You should
millennium
be
didn't
two
start
other
till, like,
different generations, like a zennial or something at that point. But I
They
guess
have-
because so many of us are younger millennials, they didn't actually grow up with hot water hoses and shit.
Yeah,
but
like, I grew up with no internet, no computer.
Mhm.
I played video games on consoles, and that was at the end of the day after I was running outside for 8-10 hours. And then I'd invite my friend Keith over, and we'd beat the hell out of each other in Street Fighter.
Street Fighter days.
Street Fighter, that was fun.
Yeah, dude. I'm pretty much on the same boat. I didn't know what a mouse was for until I went to college. I had a computer, and I was considered very fancy because I had DOS, y'all. Which
Ooh,
doesn't, but
nice.
and it's not because of the fact that Windows 95 wasn't out. It was because we were poor. But we had one console, and the console was primarily for dad. So so yeah, we had to learn the joy of outside and learn how to find things that were like again, not everything is always going to cater to you all the time. You won't always be able to do what you want. For us, it was mostly because we didn't have access to everything, but it was a good lesson to learn growing up. You won't
what's your
always
spin
be
on it?
able to do the things that you want. Sometimes your friends will be able to do things that you can't freaking do. And you're going to have to be okay with that and not put yourself into bankruptcy or drive anybody crazy because you're not able to do the same things. It's not disabled, it's life. And this is if we're going to say that everything that makes life a little bit harder is called a disability, we might as well pack it in now. Everything is a disability. It's
Yeah,
all a
what
disability.
is it? If everyone is special,
I
nobody's
can't-
really special at this point.
I have an idea.
Hmm?
We're all disabled. We all apply for disability. They can't deny it, and then we crash the system and finally get things back on track. Genius.
Sounds like a good plan.
All right, let's get away from
Miss Disability over here.
yeah.
All right, so
The
Star
Shia
Wars,
LaBeouf
The
pop.
Acolyte.
Ugh.
Apparently worse than the holiday special.
Oh, that makes me laugh inside. And it's true. It's
It's
true.
true, yeah.
Because what they're trying to do is egregious, and the fact that they're failing at it is actually even funnier. So they're trying to make the Jedi the bad guys. They're trying to make it all their fault. And even then, half the people are like, yeah, the Jedi did nothing wrong. And the people who think that the Jedi did do something wrong are just dumb. They're the ones who are like, season 5 was like the best sword fight ever.
We call them
No.
bots.
So
Oh,
apparently,
I'm not
a funny
joking.
thing
TDS
happened.
actually found out those were all bots.
So a funny
Oh,
thing
yeah, they were.
happened. Apparently, Rotten Tomatoes decided to hide their audience score on the
Yeah.
Acolyte, and you had to scroll down to where it says seasons and click details to actually bring up the audience score. Right?
Yeah.
I'm not giving you anything. I'm blocking your ads. You can fuck off. And this was apparently a problem for like a very short bit. And the problem I have with certain people, like who is it, Yellow Flash or whatnot, I think I heard complaining about it, is the fact that they just immediately, they did this on purpose. And
He jumps to that pretty quick.
well, a lot of them do that. That's the problem. And it's just like, the only way we could know if they did it on purpose is the person coding the site to input the season button down here actually did it on purpose, which may very well be true. But until they say, yeah, I did it on purpose, it honestly could be as easy as hitting Control X instead of Control C on the keyboard when he copied the code from this part to this part. And that was it. Because they fixed it really quickly, and then I saw another guy on Twitter talking about how it was just a glitch, and I'm like, no, guys, it's not a glitch. You guys are fucking stupid. It's a website. He controlled X when he should have controlled C and then controlled V further down the page. That's all he fucking did.
Yeah.
It wasn't a glitch, because if it was a glitch, it would have looked funky.
It was a mistake.
Or it would have been gone completely from somewhere.
Yeah, I
from
think that
everywhere. It just wouldn't be present at all, because then that could have been I hit tilde or something while going through the code using the down keys or something by accident in a spot, so I fucked up its HTML, so now it's coming up looking like Greek.
yeah, I think that that people who have been burned by this sort of thing, though, when I mean there have been shenanigans on with
Oh
Rotten
yeah.
Tomatoes, and so when you know that this place is known to do chicanery, let's put it that way, that's better, I like that
Yeah,
word, chicanery.
that's
They're up to chicanery, um as a matter of course, at the behest of big studios, when they see something they don't like, when suddenly something that they don't like becomes the norm, and all of a sudden that review goes away. Yeah, I understand being suspicious of it. Now, I think that that can go too far, but I understand why they'd err on that side.
yeah.
I don't think it's a good idea, especially if you're going to be reporting on things, to
Yeah.
say, this is pretty suspicious. Draw your own conclusions. I mean, I have my theory, but you can do whatever you want. Saying definitively, this is
And
totally what happened and I've got receipts is not a thing, though.
I get where they're coming from with it, though.
Yeah.
Like you said, they run shenanigans before.
And it always seems to run
Like
a
the
specific
whole
way.
audience scores are no longer allowed to be posted type thing for like the first few days something is out and stuff like that. And it's like that was clear manipulation from somebody higher up somewhere that said we got to stop that. We can't prevent them, but we could prevent them for a couple of days, right, guys? I'm sure
Yeah.
somebody somewhere had that conversation, which is why they do that, and that's why things like the dislike button has gone from
YouTube.
that place.
It's so irrelevant these days.
And stuff like that. So they definitely do shady things and stuff, but something like this is just one of those things. It's like there was no real there was nothing needed for that outside of explaining how easy it would be to control X and control V instead of control seeing something.
Yeah, I can see
It
that.
could very well have been a rogue employee going, oh, let's do this and see how long it takes them to notice kind of deal.
Yeah, maybe see if
But
they can
unless
get away
they
with it.
actually own up to it, it's just a oops, my bad scenario.
It gets suspicious when
MVP,
it only goes
sorry.
one way.
But yeah, I mean, it does always go one way, so I can understand the suspicion. But at the
Yeah.
same time, I'm pretty sure somebody just hit the wrong button when they copied the thing.
Yeah,
It's
it
likely.
is what it is.
But
mean-
Acolyte, episode 7, which I haven't seen.
So Zio, you haven't seen it. Chad, have you seen it?
He's not going to watch it. He doesn't have.
I'm not going to
Disney
watch
Plus.
it, but I've watched enough clips of it that I can say I'll be right back. I'm going to take a big Acolyte.
But yeah, again, it still suffers from the same problems it has been suffering the entire time. Really bad story, and things just not making sense.
Yeah, people do not behave like actual human beings. It's like, have you met real people? Have you actually? These are, again, we just have bad writers, honestly.
Like the whole idea that the fact that OSHA and what is it, May, right?
Yeah.
Which one's the evil one again? It's May.
May.
Yeah. It's like when May was going, oh my gosh, my sister's alive. I've got to go turn myself in, blah, 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 bullshit, stuff like that. I'm like, lady, you said I'm going to kill you to prevent you from going with the Jedi and let the whole fucking temple on fire made of stone. Why the fuck are you surprised she's alive and suddenly you're like, I love her, I sisterly love bullshit?
Well, the thing that's
that makes no fucking sense to me.
See, the thing is that you've only seen to season 4 where she says, I'm going to turn myself into Kilnaka. You haven't seen episode 5 where she has schizophrenia throughout the entire episode.
I mean, that's the only way to explain it is she's a schizo.
Possibly. If they now in episode 7, they do actually say that they both kind of seem to have I guess the same DNA or something like they're the exact. It seems like they're almost the exact same person or something.
Well, yes, they were conceived by the Force. They're twins with
and
no father and 2 mothers. Yes, they're going to be practically clones of one another, considering they're identical twins. That happens in real life, by the way.
Yeah.
But anyway, It's just on a downward trajectory, and I will eventually watch these last few episodes when I have the brain power to stomach it. But I lost all my brain cells watching Biden's big boy speech recently.
Okay, if anybody ever refers to anything that I do in life as a big girl thing and it's not unironic, we're
Listen,
gonna have a problem.
I
And if it's
thought
not ironic, we're gonna have a problem. Like,
I saw the clips of his staff and what's her face calling it a big boy speech, and I thought somebody was trolling. There's
I thought
no
so too.
way like that was real. And I listen to this stuff while I'm at work, so I'm not actually watching it. I thought maybe
Yeah.
somebody had just clipped things together to make it sound like that kind of deal, because you know how people are. And I was like, there's no way that's true. There's no
Yeah.
way that's true. So I had to go and look it up and watch. And sure enough, they actually say that. And then I had to sit here and listen to the thing. And I think I got like 30, 40 minutes into it before I was just done. I couldn't
Yeah.
do it anymore. I mean, oh.
Well,
Anyway.
for one, he's really dull to listen to when he's not, when he's not super high, or he's not in one of his dementia moments. Because the thing is that actually when you have this sort of brain degeneration, you have moments where you're absolutely lucid, and you
Oh,
have
yeah.
moments where you fall apart. Like the thing is that I mean, I keep telling my husband, and I'm sure he's tired of hearing me say it, but it's so uncanny how he reminds me of my gram, who suffered dementia. She had the same raspy voice. She had that moment where she would be trying to say something, and instead of just saying or something that you do when you're trying to think of it, you have this thing where it's kind of like you're trying to get a word out but you can't, so it's like that's
Yeah.
freaking weird. It's a sure sign that you actually have something wrong with you, and that people are lying about that. It does inspire my empathy. And then I remember that he's a bit of a dick, so he kind of deserves terrible things to happen to him. I'm sorry. No, I live in California, and I work for a company that he was trying to force everybody to have the jab, and a lot of people just did, just saying, oh well,
I
it's
got
easier,
lucky.
which made me so upset with those people. I'm like, there are so many people out here that I can never have on my zombie team, because they're just like they'll turn me over to the zombies as soon as things get kind of difficult. They're like, oh, it's just easier. I'm like, I'm sorry, is your medical autonomy not a thing to stand on? Like, what do you stand for?
Yeah,
And
I got lucky with that. My company actually sued the government over that and said, fuck you.
very cool. Yeah.
So
Mine rolled over so hard. We have an HR department though, and it's entirely
I'm
too
sure
large
that
for
was
the number of
fun.
people we have. So yeah, it was all stupid.
But anyway, Star Wars The Acolyte is still bad. There's nothing new there. It's gotten worse,
Yeah.
and it's still bad. And there was a badass fight scene at some point that made no fucking sense.
Well, I mean, episode 5 looks flashy. If you turn your brain off, it'll be fine. If you don't turn your brain off, it is dumb. You'll just go, why? Where's this person? Where's that person? Why aren't they helping? All of their friends are dying. And you go, oh, the camera wasn't on them, so they didn't exist. It makes no sense. It makes absolutely no sense. But if you just look at it, and like after you've hit yourself in the head with a hammer, you'll be perfectly fine. You'll be like, look at the pretty lights. Oh, that look cool. You have to be like slightly high or drunk or on some sort. You have to be altered.
On something.
Yeah, on something or just off of it.
So, the question of what Dr. Disrespect did to get banned off of Twitch was finally answered. I don't know if Chad wants to go too far into this. There's not really much to say at this point.
I'm going to be honest. I'm going to say something pretty fucking controversial, actually.
Probably, but
I mean, that's par for me, but
so
this is even out of the wheelhouse for me.
let's go ahead and run it down real quick. Dr. Disrespect got banned like what was it, 2 years ago, something like that now.
Yeah.
And it was just inexplicable. Just suddenly it happened. He's like, all right, we're gone. He moved over to YouTube or wherever it is he is now. And nobody had an answer to why. They got, the doc sued Twitch. They settled out of court. There we go. We got some people running around saying they claimed they knew what was going on. I personally just thought they were just, what's the word? There's a word. Anybody.
I don't know what you're trying to say.
Anyway, they were just trying to get attention, right?
Oh, okay.
I guess is the best way to put it. But yeah, apparently he got banned for because he got caught sexting a minor in the existing Twitch Whispers product. He was trying to meet up with her at TwitchCon. The powers that could read in plain text. Case closed. Gag. Anyway, so that was. These people who were doing this were also apparently selling tickets to their shows and other stuff, utilizing this as bait to get people to do it and said they would. So I took it as pretty disingenuous and not real for the longest time.
Yeah.
But eventually Dr. Disrespect did respond and confirmed that yes, he was talking to a minor. And there were what was the verbiage he used again? Where is it?
He mentioned something like, did they get slightly inappropriate, or was there something that
That's
could have
what it
been
was.
seen
It
as
was
slightly inappropriate?
Some
And I'm
of
like,
it was slightly inappropriate.
yeah. And I'm like, that's so vague and subjective. I don't know what that means. I mean, and when we say minor, what are we talking about? I just don't know. I mean, if we're talking about for legal reasons, we have to say this is inappropriate. I'm like, what? Did you tell him to shut up and call him a dickhead? Call her a dickhead or something like that? Like that could be construed as inappropriate for someone under that age, depending on who you're talking to. So I don't know what this means still. And the thing is, the fact that they had to settle out of court to me seems like, okay, it sounds like you had no case, because if this person was doing something that was actually egregious, that you could actually say, oh, this is a breach of trust right here, this is not okay, they wouldn't have had to settle, because they wound up paying out his entire contract from what I understand. So I mean, I'm always suspicious when we use vague words. Again, I'm a little bit of a word it's good that I stumble on words at this point, but I'm a little bit of a word Nazi. So when people use words incorrectly or just not very precisely, I don't know what you're talking about. I need you to actually define your terms. These are vague words that are being used on purpose, and no police were called. So I'm just
And
like,
we didn't get any clarification either.
Yeah.
Which
and
bothers
no, we're
me
not
still.
going to. I'm like, unless
No.
they release what actually happened, I'm just kind of like, don't know. I mean, I never watched the dude before. I'm not watching him now. I'm not also not going to crucify the man. I don't know.
Yeah. Also, I want to point this out. These are the kind of people that if they have the receipts, they run with it. The fact that they haven't, dear girl, Dia knows what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
By the way, I was going to say this was controversial, but Meg pretty much said what I was going to say. I don't
I
fully
was gonna say
believe
that's-
it because I've seen too many false reports, especially these days.
Yeah.
That I'm
Now,
like,
here's what we know though, because Chad's point kind of like straight up mirrors Meg's. And the problem that bothers me is the fact that he says inappropriate and then doesn't actually explain what that means. So it could mean that, it could mean he was flirting with her, whatever, that sort of thing. And then there's the other question of, age. Was it actually a minor? Or is this a minor as in it was a 21-year-old? Because we know how these people like to operate. They sit there and say, oh, that's just sick because, he's, 40-something, and then the girl he's talking to is 20.
He said in his own post that it was someone who was a minor. It also depends on where you're talking about. I mean, in some states, minor is 17. In some places, minor is 16. So it's just, I don't really know. But Razor Fist's point that you have on the screen is actually what I'm thinking.
But, this is highly sus because, when you get down to it, you've got a company, he sues them, breaching the contract and stuff, and they just pretty much pay him out.
Yeah.
And nobody talks about it for the next several years.
Yeah. So I'm thinking that he got caught doing stuff, like saying things that you probably wouldn't say when you really think about it. You're like, I probably wasn't wise, but it's not the same. I mean, people say stuff like, I mean, I know that that's going to sound like I'm an apologist of some sort. I'm absolutely not. I loathe predatory nature towards children. But that being said, things that people say that can be misconstrued or taken seriously when actually they're made in jest is just, I can't. I'm sorry. I can't crucify someone for saying something when they look back and go, that probably wasn't the best. I say things out of my face hole constantly that I look back and go, oh God, I shouldn't have said that. So I don't know what this means. I don't understand any of it. And the thing is that because they paid out his contract, I'm like, it sounds like y'all did the wrong thing. I'm not sure. I just don't know. But this whole hey, let's string him up and crucify him it's not for me. So I'm like a hard meh, if you know what I mean.
Well, I think okay. So two things. One, I sent Zio a meme about the past Acolyte topic. I'm glad he liked that. Two, I will give you another meme that summarizes my feelings on if I say something salacious to a minor, like "go fuck yourself."
Yeah.
This is my. I will own that shit. And this meme pretty much summarizes what I think of minors, because minors shouldn't be on the internet. That's my take. Minors shouldn't be on the internet at all.
Yeah.
And the fact that they're on the internet makes me question a couple things about the parents. Now, some parents that monitor their kids, like Zio, I have no problem with, because they got that shit on lockdown. But most don't.
Yeah, I think this is the problem with having kids on the internet. When you're just an edgelord in the first place, you're expected to behave a certain sort of way, and you just do. And then you're like, you said this to a kid, and you're like, yeah, it's probably not a good idea. So I don't know. I don't like, again, I don't know what this is. I don't know what this means. You're around adults constantly. I mean, I grew up in a really rough neighborhood, and people said things that were just like kind of off the wall, didn't mean anything by it. They're just being douche nozzles. But I just don't know. Guys, I got like a heart out in 3 minutes. But
all right.
But yeah, that's my very aggressive middle of the road take.
From what I get, if he said something that was like sexually charged to a 17-year-old, given that he's like what 40 something,
yeah, that's different.
That's pedo territory. I'm sorry. I mean, I don't like the guy to begin with, but to me, that's a big no. You don't like do that, especially if you know she's 17, which of course is the other thing we don't really know. If at the time when whatever was said was actually said knowing the age. The other part is apparently Twitch, what was the word? They did it.
Twitch staff set him up.
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah.
Twitch staff apparently set him up, which is probably why things went the way they went, because he apparently had this conversation back in 2017.
Yeah.
Right? They banned him in 2020 over it.
Yeah, and that's 3 years. I'm like, wait, didn't the Whisper program didn't even last that long? So
yeah, like I don't even remember the Whisper program, to be totally honest.
I don't even know what it was.
I was like, the fuck was that?
It was a very short-lived program on Twitch.
They got what they wanted. They held on to it for 3 years. So it obviously wasn't that fucking serious.
No.
Especially when you've got like a trust and safety council to make everybody feel safe.
Yeah, that's totally how that works.
For all I know, if we actually saw the transcripts, it probably, she probably went like he or something like that, and he slide-eyed, whatever. I don't know.
Yeah, it was probably like, I'm not going to say that it was something that would be what you'd want from your pastor. I think that it's probably something that was incautious, and he probably should have been more cautious, being that he was talking to a person who was not an adult.
Yeah.
But he got too comfortable in a conversation. I think that's exactly what happened. And it happens sometimes when you're talking to someone and it's you're like, oh, it's a child. Yeah. Well, okay. This is a person who's talking to you on an intelligent human level. You're not staring at some prepubescent youngling who's like, I can't use words so good. It's different. So I'm like, you were probably incautious and should not have been. You should have been cautious because of the fact that I don't know why you didn't think that you were being monitored, my dude. That was stupid.
Yeah.
But again, and the thing is that he probably
Twitch.
was, and he got too dang comfortable with who he was. He was feeling himself.
Shouldn't have, and
he was feeling himself. This was around the time that he was going crazy and was on his horn dog around and cheat on his wife arc. So he was not the best, most moral person at the time anyway. So I don't know, but whatever it was, they wound up paying it out, and that speaks to says a lot to me.
They paid him out, and the fact that there was apparently some kind of full investigation and no wrongdoing was even found, no charges were filed.
Yeah.
So obviously, whatever it wasn't that big of a deal.
No.
Because, last time I checked, the authorities don't care for pedophiles.
No.
I'm just saying.
Especially if you happen, not if you happen to be on the right or right adjacent.
Yeah. I'm about to say,
if
they
you're
don't
on the
care
left,
for
I mean, you can
pedophiles
sniff
unless
them in
it's one of
broad
theirs.
But, yeah. That's all I got. But yeah. That's the thing that happened. I don't know what to think about it. Really,
Yeah.
I don't.
Yeah,
Like,
it's kind
there's
of in
not
limbo.
enough information to make a thing, but you've got two sides now. You've got the, Dr. Disrespect is a pedophile side versus the he's not a pedophile side. And you got people constantly worrying about it.
Yeah, I'm on the he's probably not. He's probably just incautious and shouldn't be.
Yeah,
he probably
he
should
got
be
too
more careful than he
comfortable
is.
in a conversation with somebody who was almost an adult.
Yeah.
And it was a setup by Twitch to begin with, so it probably went lewd somewhere.
Yeah.
For a
Most
second.
likely starting
and
with that person, and he
the
was
fact
like,
that they
I guess
held
I can...
on to it for 3 years before acting on it says volumes about it. They knew it wasn't, whatever it was, it couldn't have been that bad because they couldn't have acted on it right then. They had to wait for the time to be right before they could do anything.
Yeah, they needed to get the right HR lady involved. So, it's just it again seems like something where this dude was incautious when talking to someone when he shouldn't have been. He should have been more cautious knowing that this was a kid. But we are saying kid. This person probably was trying to draw out commentary and saying things, and he maybe responded with like, "Oh yeah, like that," or something like that, and it'd be like, "Oh, it's kind of skeezy, bro." It's like, yeah, but consider the context of this conversation. You're having this conversation back and forth with somebody. So I don't I don't think any of us would be like, "Oh, this is the most wholesome thing I've ever read. This is great. I think you should say this more." I don't think any of us would say that ever in in this story. But
my advice to that is, if you're talking to somebody for any reason whatsoever, and then the second you find out that they are under the age of 18, just stop talking to them at that point, especially on the internet.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I don't care if you guys have been hanging out gaming for so long or whatnot. It's like, come back when you're 18, bro. I'm sorry. Yeah. I can't say the wrong thing around you or in a text message and get too comfortable with you. And then somebody is like, well, this was when I was 17 or 16, and he said, go fuck a duck or something. And it's like, really?
One of my go-tos.
Yeah, and the thing is that, especially if you're an online person, you know that this kind of thing can come back and bite you. Whatever he said, it was probably, like I said, incautious and probably just joking around, but joking too hard. That, at least that's from what came out of it. That's what I'm seeing. No, police are called. They're like, "What are you talking about?" And then the Twitch is like, "Yeah, I think we have to pay this whole thing, don't we?" Like, you don't pay out an entire contract where the person didn't do all of the work. You don't get anything out of that at all. You're getting, this dude gets off scot-free, honestly. So I'm like, yeah.
Like,
so anyway,
he probably did a thing that straight up broke contract, and they could have gotten rid of him just like that.
Absolutely. And I'm sure, doing something that's like wrong with minors is probably on there. But he knows that if it comes out, they'd be like, "Yeah, dude, what you said was kind of skeezy." Like, "Yeah, it's kind of skeezy. I didn't mean it like that, but I see how it can be read that way." That's what I'm reading of it. But guys, it was great. I got to go.
Yep, it is 10 o'clock. Two of us have hard cutoffs at this time, unlike Chad, who's going to go stream Mario Kart or something. But Meg, let them know where they can find you.
I'm sorry, what?
I said, Meg, let them know where they can find you.
You can find me on Rumble. I stream on Thursdays at 4 o'clock Pacific time because I live in California. 7 o'clock p.m. Sorry, not a.m. because a.m. is for suckers. 7 p.m. Eastern time. And if you live across the pond of any sort, I don't know what the time is, but I believe in you. I'm exclusively on Rumble at this moment. Perhaps someday I'll bridge out, but it's doubtful. I'm lazy. Thank you for having me.
Well, thank you for joining us, and we will see you later. Me and Chad will be signing off soon as well.
Yep.
And yeah, so that was fun. We still have a mountain of shit to go through. Chad, I need you to do me something.
No.
Yes.
Go ahead.
I need you to give me permissions in Discord to delete messages of other people. So I can clear up the Gaming with the Side Assault thing, so I can get rid of the stuff that you post or somebody else's post that we've already covered.
Okay.
It is a hot mess right now.
Give me a second. I will do that right now.
But yes, this has been Gaming with the Side Assault. Hopefully we'll be back on track again for next Friday at the same time, 8 p.m. Eastern. It has been a long month. Me primarily have been busy and haven't been able to make it for various things, mainly due to my disabilities. They had stuff to do. Anyway. But yeah. Down in the description down below will be somewhere down there. Jeez, where is it? I can't find it now. I forgot to do this beforehand. There it is. I'm trying to get Meg's link down there. But yeah, so I will try and have that down there for everybody to go check out. Whoops. It's the wrong button.
I just made you an admin.
That works. All right, that is updated. I should have done that before the stream. I didn't even think about it. I spaced. I'm a terrible host. But yeah, I'm going to let Chad go, and we will sign out with some Pogo, I guess. And then I will see y'all next week. Oh, and Chad's links are down there too, if you want to
Thank
go
you.
over there and maybe check him out because he does plan to stream as well. Something like that. Yeah.
Something like that.
See ya.
You know, back when I was in the academy, we would follow every toast with a song.